Hello and welcome back to Seb Talks Money. If you are interested in tools and tips to build wealth, crush debt, grow your business, and gain financial freedom, then this is the place to be. We meet here at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time every Sunday afternoon. And today we are joined by a special guest who will be sharing her passion and how that passion led to her choice of career and entrepreneurial endeavor. Now, let me show just some snippets from her bio, and then I will bring her into the broadcast. She is a dairy-free lifestyle consultant, a lawyer, and a baker, so a multi-passionate. Her passion for Jesus, justice, and food led her to a career in food justice and agricultural policy, and she's going to talk more about that. Her mission is to help people live their best dairy free lives. So, if you know somebody who is dairy free and they're looking for some options, please invite them to this broadcast today. She also wants to educate people on topics related to Black land ownership, food, and agriculture. So, without further ado, I want to introduce you to Candice Spencer, who is
Hi,
a
everyone.
lawyer and my special guest today. Hi, Candice.
Hi, Seth. How are you?
I am good, and thank you so much for agreeing to be part of our broadcast. Again, as I said before, I told you that we are doing a special broadcast on women in business, and so we want to highlight and show all the different things that people can do because I don't want them to think that they're just one or two different types of business. So this what you're doing is so special, and we're going to go some more into it. But before I do that, I want to greet some of my guests that are showing up here. Hi, Candy. Candy Jackson has joined us. And hi, Beverly. Hi, Beverly Harper has also joined us. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast today. Now, you have an intriguing story. So I want to start with what happened between the ages of 8 and 9. You said you discovered three important things: a love of baking, an allergy to dairy, and a desire to become a lawyer. So share with us what happened about the age of 9 and to lead to all of this.
Sure. So, yeah, like I said, the ages of 8 and 9 are very pivotal for me. I discovered an allergy to dairy, and really, like my mama discovered it. Shout out to her because she realized like it was not really working well for me. And I also was learning to bake at the exact same time. I remember my very first thing was like a bread pudding from Betty Crocker cookbook, and I fell in love with it from that point on. Like it's been the thing that calms me down, that gives me joy, and that just really like lights me up inside. Like I really, really love to bake. And
Uh-huh.
then between 8 and 9 as well, my dad, after a conversation in which he felt I was particularly argumentative, told me I should be a lawyer. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll do that. And then it turns out that ended up being exactly what I wanted to do with my career and with my life. And so 8 and 9 are I discovered those three things. And those were the things that have led me into my professional career, my entrepreneurial journey, into the things that I'm really passionate about today.
Yes, I can hear the passion in your voice. So excuse me. Now, when we talked before, and then also in your bio, you talked about determination, how determination and perseverance and passion for helping people led to the choices, your career choices, and also your entrepreneurial journey. So, can you share some about how your entrepreneurial journey in as it relates to food and agriculture and then also your career, share with us about some of how all of that intertwined and how people can learn more about what it is that you do.
Sure. So, yeah, so let me start back at the beginning again. So learning
Okay.
how to bake and being dairy free are probably the two things that have set me up the most for determination and perseverance. Baking is full of dairy. Like literally, you can't make anything without butter or milk or cream cheese or heavy cream. Like it's completely dairy full, as I like to say. But having a dairy allergy, obviously, that's not an option for me. But not baking also was an option for me. So I was just going to figure it out. And so swapping things out, figuring out what worked, figuring out the good replacements, that has been a journey, especially back in the early 2000s, like 90s, when I was baking. When I first started baking, there weren't that many options. It was like soy milk and soy ice cream, both of which were kind of gross. And now there's a lot more options, but you had to figure it out back then. Even with if you're trying to make vegan, which is similar but not the same thing, like it's a lot of just trial and error, trying to figure it out, trying to make it work, and just being willing to keep going and not give up at it.
Yeah.
Fast forward all the way through to college and law school. I'm a first generation college student, first generation law student at the time, first generation lawyer. And so going through college with a lot of emotional support from my family, but not necessarily a lot of like experiential support to know how to apply to college, how to apply to law school, because I had no idea what I was doing when I applied to law school at all. Like I had some really great mentors that helped me out and came through, because I literally did not know what I was doing when I applied to law school. But I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew that's what my career path was. I knew that I cared about changing the world, and I knew being a lawyer could help me do that. And so applying to law school, making it through law school, because law school feels like a 3-year hazing process, because it's a lot. It's a lot. Law school is a lot. So having the determination to keep going and to know that I'm here for a reason, like I have a purpose, I have a plan, I am meant to help people, and this is part of that, a part of that track, and to keep going was really important. And I had built that up over time, just from the simple thing of just trying to learn how to bake and do what I loved, while also
Yeah.
like not killing myself with my allergy. So that definitely played a factor. And then studying for the Florida bar, I'm licensed in the state of Florida, and the bar exam is a really difficult exam. It's how you become a lawyer. It's not easy. It took me twice to pass it, and the determination and also emotional support to say, I'm not going to give up the first time and try something else or do something different. I am going to do this again, regardless of how hard it is.
Yeah.
I needed that. I really needed that determination I'd built up over time, and it really served me well in that particular phase of my life. And so when it came to
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, I feel like honestly, this may be one of the easiest things I've done. Like not really, but compared to law school and the bar and getting through, like compared to all these other things, I feel like they set me up really well to not be as intimidated by this experience as I could have been if I hadn't had those past experiences.
Yeah, yeah. We have another lawyer that's in the house, Asian American Legal Focus. Hi there, Judy. And we also have another one of my YouTube pals, Kathy Coates. So, guys, if you're on here and you're looking for meals, simple meals, go follow Kathy on YouTube and follow Asian American Legal Focus on YouTube. If you are looking for fun perspective of the law, please go follow her on YouTube. And I'm going to share also. Candice is going to share also. She is on YouTube. Candice, share with us your YouTube channel name.
Yes. And so it's spilled milk. And that's because there's no point in crying over spilled milk, because we weren't going to drink it anyway. It's about dairy free lifestyle, dairy free advice, recipes as well. I'm doing a bit of a revamp coming up to do a lot more dairy free versions of recipes. And so I'm really excited about the content I have coming up. But go ahead and check out the
Okay.
stuff that's already on there, and feel free to subscribe.
Yeah. Is that spilled as SPILLED
Yes.
milk or yeah, okay, spilled milk? Okay. All righty. So and as you're sharing now, one of the things you mentioned is that you are a dairy-free consultant. So for those who are watching who are dairy-free and or those who will be watching the replay, how what when they come to you as a consultant, tell us some of the services that you offer in that capacity. And of course I'm going to be sharing Candice's information at the end. So please connect with her for those of you who are dairy free, trying to live that lifestyle or know somebody who is. Connect with her so you can gain some perspective and then get some information, and also so you can do business so she can help you out. Okay. All right. So yeah, so tell us a little bit about what some of the things that somebody who would come to you as a dairy-free consultant, some of the services that you would offer.
Sure. So right now I offer one-on-one consulting, personalized consulting. And what I realized through doing my YouTube channel is that I really like helping people, but it's a little bit harder. It's actually impossible to give individual advice via YouTube. I can
Yes.
give general advice. I can give like general recommendations, but there's things that are specific to people. So if you have extra like health concerns in addition to being dairy free, if you're the only person who's dairy free in your household, that comes with a challenge. If you are living in a place where you actually don't have control over your diet, but you're trying to be dairy free, like that's another particular challenge. And so through consulting, I help people have individualized
Mhm.
solutions to the challenges of living dairy free, regardless of what that may be, including availability of products in your area, even ways to tell people you're dairy free, to share that information, ways to advocate for yourself in public situations, for your dairy free needs. All of that I can provide on a one-on-one specialized basis.
Yes, yes, and it's the same. I have actually have a disclaimer in my channel because it's general information that I'm sharing around personal finance. I can't, everybody's situation is different,
Yeah.
and I may share something even about budget, but it doesn't apply because there's no one size fit all for budget. So yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. So again, please go follow her, contact her for individualized help when it comes to trying to live a dairy-free life. All right. So I have a fun question before I get into the rest of the interview. I'm going to do a station identification break, and that is to invite anyone who has not subscribed. If you're seeing a red button, that means you have not subscribed. So please subscribe, like, comment, and share, because what that does, it sends the YouTube algorithm a message that there are people who are interested, and YouTube will push out the content more, so even more people can get to know about what we're doing here. So again, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. So here's a fun question I want to ask before I get into the other part of the interview.
Okay.
And this is, if you could be an animal, what animal would you be? And what animal would you be and why?
Oh, that's a good question. So it's a tie, but not quite really. I'm gonna go with some kind of bird because I love being up in the air. Like I love flying, I love zip lining, I want to go skydiving.
Ah, you are brave.
I love it. I'm like really terrified of falling, which doesn't really go with that with that love of being in the air, but I love it. I just love being in the air and feeling like I could fly, and so I'd be some kind of bird for sure.
Ah, okay. I am great. Heights and we are mortal enemies. Oh, and Kathy is sharing a comment here. She's saying it's great that you have taken your personal needs and created a business. And when we do that, it becomes such a passion because for me, it's being divorced in my 50s, going back to school, getting my doctorate in my 50s, starting a YouTube channel in my 50s, and having that passion for personal finance and combining all of that. Um, is there's such a passion in me to help people who have gone through the experiences that I've gone through, who are going through the experiences that I've gone through. So yes, it is awesome because then you can really put everything into it because it is your passion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Asian American focus, she's saying my son's pediatrician is very anti-milk. Yeah.
My
Milk
mom
belongs
is
to cows.
too. Yeah, my mom is too, which is funny because her perspective is that even if you aren't dairy free, drinking the milk of another animal is kind of weird, and she's right. Like there's some studies and some perspective to back that up. So it is a little. I get that it's a little weird, even if you're not dairy
Yeah.
free. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So now that we had that fun break, I have a few more questions that I want to ask you so you can share with the audience. Now, if you had a chance to start over your career, your entrepreneurship journey, um, what would you do differently? And we didn't get into the part about the land and all of that. We're going to talk about that after this. But if you had the chance to start over, what would you do differently, or would you do anything differently?
I actually would not do anything differently for a couple of reasons. I personally don't believe in having regret. Like I really hate it as a feeling, and so I decided a long time ago to just to make the choices I make, and if I make mistakes, to learn from them, and if I learn from them, there's no reason to regret them, because that means they still
Yeah.
served a purpose. So
Yeah.
I firmly just believe in not having regret and just making the best decision I can and moving on with that.
Yeah.
I also firmly believe in the Lord's plan for my life, that He's written all of my days before they came to be. And so if He's in charge, and He is, then there's also no reason to wish something had gone differently, because He
Yes.
has already planned it. So yeah.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
I also think too, I know if I had tried to do this any sooner, I would not have been ready. Like the personal journey I've gone on the past few years, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, has really prepared me to do this now, and I would not have been ready beforehand. So
Yes.
I wouldn't change anything.
Yes, I believe me, I understand exactly where you're coming from, because as much as I wanted to do this, it was never the right time, because I needed the experiences and the battles that I fought. I
Mhm.
needed those to be able to relate to my clients,
Yeah.
because I can't tell them about how to come back from being in debt, how to come back from being and having a negative net worth, how to come back from having no savings, divorce in your 50s, and how to build a 5-figure savings. There's no way I could tell them how to do that, or be genuine, or be to empathize with them, just giving them theory. But I
Yeah.
can say, here, this is what I went through, these are the feelings I experienced, and here is what I did to get out of it. And the journey has made me this kind of person. So yes, you are
Hmm.
correct. It's there's no reason to beat ourselves up over. And I hope somebody's listening. That message is for you. There's no reason to beat yourself up over any decisions or any that you've made in the past. The things that you've done have those things have made you who you are,
Yeah.
and firmly believe that our lives are preordained, and we can sometimes take ourselves out of God's will, but your footsteps will come right back to where you need to be. So every experience, I think, builds us and helps us to grow and to be who we need to be, so we can minister to the people that were assigned to our lives.
Okay, sir.
So yeah, this is good stuff.
Yes.
This is good stuff. Candice says, live with no regret. Love it, Candice. Yes, with no regret. I mean, there's nothing you can do about what you've done in the past. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about what's going to happen in the future by worrying about it. But all you can do is take the lesson and build on it. So where would you see yourself, 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself as a business, as an entrepreneur? Where would you want to see yourself, or where do you see yourself?
That's a good question. Questions like this kind of challenge me, because it makes me dream big and like put it out there into the world for other people to hear, and that's like a little uncomfortable. But overall, I want to accomplish the Lord's will for my life, serve people, be financially successful, and have a whole lot of fun. Like in general, that is my life goal. Specifically to my businesses, I want to definitely have a successful business doing dairy free lifestyle consulting, to have helped a lot of people there. I am in the process of starting another legal consulting business, to do more of the food business entrepreneur side, helping Black farmers, land ownership, doing more of that work.
Oh yes, I wanted to hear more about that. Yes.
I really love that, so happy to go into that. Um, and I also, in 5 years, I think I want to go ahead and start a bakery. Like that's been kind of like a closely held dream of mine as well. I've done like I'm a home baker. I'm not professionally trained, but I do want to get professionally trained and open my own dairy free bakery in 5 years. That'd be really cool.
Yes. Talk to us a little bit more about the Black land farmers, and around all of that topic.
Yeah. So, okay. So I love that. So I'm trying to like organize it all before I really get into and get going. So I became interested in like food right around my last year of college, and then coming into law school is where I really started to understand systemic racism, injustice, and how that then tied into the food system. How racism sadly underlines just about every institution in this country, including our food
Yes, it
system.
does.
Yeah, and so in law school, I actually got the chance to work on a project where I interviewed Black farmers about their legal needs, to see if they needed help with like writing, with like land ownership, with access to markets, with accessing like with USDA programs, just whatever their needs were. And so this idea of heirs property came up, which is just like an unstable form of land ownership that opens people up to being preyed on by developers, is the kind of the short version of that. And so this understanding of like how important land is for building wealth, for obviously like food sovereignty, you need land to grow your own food, to be in charge of that for yourself. And just what that meant also is like historically our connection as people, as Black people, people who were brought to this country, and how white supremacy has interrupted that connection to the land that we may have had or definitely did have before we came here. All of these things I find like just fascinating, and that they like keep me up at night. Like they like I'm really passionate about helping people who want to farm still, who have been farming for generations, who want to keep farming, who want to get into farming, who want to maintain land ownership, because that is how you build wealth, and that's what we are lacking as Black in the Black community, as Black people. And so all of those things, anything around like Black land ownership, particularly Black farmland ownership, is my absolute jam, and I'm all the way here for it. And so I would love to in the future, the very near future, actually, so I'll be starting this before the end of the year, just being able to help Black farmers with different types of legal needs, and anything around that.
Okay, so if anybody's watching now or going to be watching the replay, again, I'm going to be sharing all of her contact information at the end of this program. In fact, I'm going to add in the chat, because the chat will be part of the replay, your YouTube channel, so that we can have that, people see that as part of the replay. So give us some final thoughts on things, around entrepreneurship, some points that you can give somebody who is a budding entrepreneur, who's thinking about going into entrepreneurship, even a farmer, somebody who may be thinking of farming, and, all the things that you are passionate about and the things that you are engaged with. Give us some tips around those that will help somebody kind of forge their path, so to speak, in any of those areas, or just in general, just becoming a better entrepreneur in general.
Okay. So my first tip, if you're starting an entrepreneurship, is to find what your passion is. Like, what sets your soul on fire, and also what have you experienced and what do you know? I firmly believe our purpose lies in our passion, and also that our experiences, like you said earlier, Severin, our experiences are not just for us, they're for other people as well. Like, you didn't go through stuff for no reason, and you didn't go through stuff just for you. It is for the benefit of other people. And so look at that to see if that is where you're supposed to start your business. It's not just like, I'm not going to go develop an app or do something tech wise if I'm not techie. Like, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go like finance is your thing. It's not my thing. So I'm going to do what I know. I'm going to do what is my passion. And so start there, because it's not as hard. It's not hard to kind of figure out what to do. I think you already know, like, it's always going to be something you already know. And so start with that. If you have questions about dairy-free lifestyle living recipes, obviously contact me. Severin will share my information. I think that's your best start.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna stick because I think I'm gonna stick with that, because there's more things I could say for Black farming. There's a whole lot to say about that, but keep that general and stay there.
Yeah, so the general gist is, what is your passion? What is something that you're good at? What is something that, because you don't want to be trying to sell something that may make money, because a lot of people, I find, is like, what I've seen the questions around different forums that I'm a part of, and it's like, what can I do to make money? Well, that might not be your passion. That might not be something that you're gifted at. That might not be something you're good at doing. So it's not about the money. And I'm going to be talking, I think it's next week or the week after, with another young lady. We're going to be talking about, how our paths are so crafted. We're told, go to school, go to college, get a job. And if I had known better, I would not have done that. Because I know that corporate America is not for me. Based on my personality, I'm too outspoken and I don't like games. And that's what corporate America is. It's games and all that. I'm too outspoken. I'm too blunt, and I don't know how to play games, and I don't want to learn how to play games. So corporate America is not for me, and
Mhm.
so I'm trying to train my daughter to not go, to go based on what she's good at doing, and and craft. Look at careers around that rather than going because that is the set path. That is what we're supposed to do.
Mhm.
So, American Legal Focus is sharing here. There's another channel, Lilies and Tomatoes, where this Quincy Adams shares how to grow vegetables. So I'm sharing here also Candice's YouTube channel, which is spelled Spilled milk, and I'm going to put it in the chat so that for those who are going to be watching the replay, they will be able to see exactly how it is spelled. So,
Thank you.
Candice, thank you so much for this awesome time, spending time with us here at Seb Talks Money, and I'm hoping that somebody got something out of it that will help them to become a better entrepreneur, to help them understand even better about the dairy-free lifestyle. And here's Candice's information where you can contact her. Her email is info at Candice A. Spencer. Don't leave out the A. Info at
Mhm.
CandiceASpencer.com. Instagram is at Candice A. Spencer, and then Twitter at Candice S2510. So please go follow her. And if you want to know more about the dairy free lifestyle, I've shared her YouTube channel. And again, thank you so much for all of you who have watched. For those of you who continue to support the channel, come back next Sunday where we're going to be talking with another dynamic young woman who is also on the entrepreneurial path. And a lot of us, we're doing the 9 to 5 and entrepreneurship. So that's one of the reasons why we're trying to share, because we want you to know that it is not an impossible thing. It is not an impossible dream to do your 9 to 5. Let your 9 to 5 feed your dream. Hello. Let your nine
Yep.
to five feed your dream. And let's do this thing. Okay. So we are going to be back here again next Sunday, where where you'll be able to hear from another young lady. So I think there are a couple of other comments that came up. Okay, Asian American is saying thanks, great interview, and Kathy is saying thank you too. So again, please go follow these ladies. We're all doing things. We're trying to make life. We're trying to help other people while we help ourselves. So please follow
Yes.
Asian American Legal Focus, Kathy Coates, and of course Candice and myself on YouTube as we continue to share gems to make your life much better. Thank you and have a wonderful Sunday afternoon.